Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Tech and Our Get Your Listings Noticed Helpful Marketing Hacks. I'm Susan Harrison, Senior Vice President with Exit Realty, and I'll be moderating this session. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please type them into the question box on your GoToWebinar pane, and we'll get back to you. You're in listen-only mode, and today's Tech and Our is being recorded. With around 2 million real estate agents in the U.S. and Canada, it's critical for you to leverage opportunities and tools to stand out from the crowd. But not every opportunity and tool, just the smart ones. So we're excited to welcome our guest today. Annette Anthony, our VP of Technology Engagement, reached out to our engagement leaders for the names of folks who are crushing it with tech, and Karen's name came up time and again. Karen Toddy's been with Exit for almost 9 years and works with Sean Sorensen's office in Temecula, California. She's a certified distressed property expert and a military relocation professional. Today, she's going to share her best practices to get herself and her listings noticed. Thank you so much for joining us today, Karen.
Hey, Susan, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. As Susan said, my name is Karen Toddy. I work at Exit Alliance Realty in Temecula, California with Sean Sorensen. I've been a realtor for about 12 years. In my former life, I was an IT telecom project manager for the third largest defense contractor in the U.S. for about 22 years. And, you know, in this capacity that I inherited my drive to always want to find ways to do things better, faster, or of course on time and under budget. You know, and as realtors, we're always constantly bombarded with opportunities to pay for better exposure to buyers or to pay for more internet traffic to our website. So in my natural inquisitive mind, I figured there had to be a way to do it for less or even for free. So I wanted to show you what I did to ensure that my listings are branded with my information on the very first picture that a prospective buyer will see when they go to Zillow or Realtor.com, because that was really important for me. As you'll see in this particular slide, this is one of my listings that I have here in the Valley. As you can see, it is branded with all my personal information as the listing agent, as well as an offer to see more information and additional pictures, because, you know, buyers, they want to see the pictures and they want to get their own information. They don't want to wait for an agent to send them information. If you give them a way to get it themselves, they're all over it. So this is the URL to one of my blogs. So I post that as the very first picture that they see as soon as they pull my listing up in Zillow. And you'll see as well in Realtor.com, that same branding is there. The picture is kind of small just because of the way Realtor.com presents here, but it has that same information. My contact information is here, and the branded get more information or get more info and pictures by going to this URL. Okay? That URL goes to my blog. And I personally, on this case, use Google Blogs, which is called Blogger. Anyone that has a Gmail account, you have access to a free Google blog. Google owns a blogging platform called Blogger. So what I name mine is Temecula Homes, and it's tagged temeculahomes.blogspot.com. So if you have Gmail and you're using that, if you open Google and go to their little drop down in the upper right of the screen where it has all the other Google stuff like the mapping and Drive and all that, it's an orange B. That's their blog spot. So if you click that, it will open up a blogging platform that's very robust. You name it what you want, and you have a blog platform that you can use that's owned by Google. And, you know, Google loves when you use their stuff. And they're the ones that choose what gets shown on when Google searches. So they really like when they use their stuff. What you'll see in this is this particular blog post here is where all those people that clicked that URL that I was showing you on Zillow and Realtor.com, when they click that, it goes to this blog post. And if you'll look here, you'll see the number of views I get on that particular post, 512 on this day here. As you can see, based on some of my other blog posts, that's pretty extraordinary. Let me show you what that post looks like. So when they click that link, this is what they get. All right, this is the name, my header for my blog. This is information about the house, and then I have a bunch more pictures than what they'll see in Zillow sometimes. I'll put extra pictures here that Zillow doesn't have, and sometimes one MLS may not have. I also, more importantly, I add into my blog post, I add the YouTube video for that house. Many of you may not know, Google also owns YouTube. So I use Google's YouTube platform as well as their blog posts, which kind of gives me, I think, a little bit more, Google juice. So someone searches for that address and searches for information, it's more likely going to come up because blog posts are searchable tools. So when someone's searching for stuff, it's available for them to see. I backlink this to one of my listings in my broker-provided website. So I'm also not only pushing traffic to my blog posts while they're in here, I push them to my website, where then there they can create their own searches. Millennials and people out doing their internet searches for houses, they like control. They like being able to do it themselves. And even though, we have our MLS and, I can send you listings, they like being able to search and do it on their own. So I backlink them to my website in my office. They can create their own search. So I'm capturing that traffic and kind of trying to hold on to it so they're not staying on Zillow and looking there. A little more traffic to me. Now I'm going to show you how I use Exit Promo Shop, Zillow, and Realtor.com in this whole process, and give you an idea of how easy it is for you guys to do this for your listings and get that traffic pointed to you. Okay, let's go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to visit the Exit Resource Center. If you're an Exit agent, then you're familiar with the Resource Center and Promo Shop, which is one of the items available to Exit agents. So you want to do Exitize Me. This will take you to where you can select Promo Shop. Once you're in Promo Shop, where you want to go to the Marketing Center. Promo Shop has a ton of other things you can do. We're going to go to the Marketing Center because we want to get to where all those templates and all those marketing pieces are. All right, once you go to the Marketing Center, you're going to go to Print Marketing because we're actually going to create a postcard, but we're not going to mail it. We're going to create a postcard that then we're going to use an image of. So you're going to go to Postcards, Print Marketing Postcards. There's a drop-down called Collections. Pull that drop-down and then select Build Your Own because you want to get a blank template. All right, so select one of the blank postcards in that template, and here's where you're seeing that I've created just a basic branding on a blank postcard. Now this is something that I save as a template, so anytime I have a listing, I can pop this open, stick the picture in there, change whatever URL I have, and then save it. All right, so you're going to create your own design, create a template, just blank, and then you save it. And then when you're ready to use it, you import the picture, drop it in here, and then you're ready to go. And what you'll have now is you'll see here, this is the blank template I have that always sits there ready to be used. And as I get new listings, I open up the template, drop a picture in, as you can see here, and then I save it. I name it, the name of the house or whatever, so they're easy to find. All right, you're going to do right-click, Save Image As, so you're going to save just the front part of this postcard. Save that image in the same folder on your computer where all the other pictures are for that particular listing. You want them all saved together because you're going to need them all very shortly in the next step. So you want to make sure all your pictures are all together in one place. It'll make it easy, and you'll see why in a second. So you save this template. If you've made a couple, there's nothing wrong with that. You can make 2 or 3 different ones for a listing. You have unlimited possibilities. Use your imagination. All right? So once you got that saved, we're going to go into Zillow, and you're going to find your listing, and you should have a Zillow profile. We'll talk about that in a minute. Find your listing and then edit it. So you're going to go to edit listing on that particular one. It will bring up an editable format of your listing. It's a much bigger page than this. I just zoomed in on the photo part, but there's a bunch of different places where you can edit, update information on your listing. But in the photo section, which is like right in the middle, this big section here where I've pre-populated with all my pictures, because I've already done it. But when you open yours up, it will be completely blank. The one thing Zillow does is when you decide to not use their feed photo, which is what they pull from the MLS, and it's the information they use to try and attract people to their Zillow platform. Once you decide to use your own pictures, you're going to click active up here. You are going to have to reload all of your pictures from your computer. So remember when I said save that image in the same place where all your other pictures are. So you go there, you'll click add new photo, go to your place on your computer where you have all those pictures, upload them, including your new branded ones. And like I said, you can have multiples. You can see I have one here, I have one here, and I have a third one there. There's nothing says that you can't have multiple. It's the first picture they see and it's the last picture they see when they're looking at all the pictures on the website. It's branded to me. All right? Now for Realtor.com, they're much nicer. They don't dump all your pictures when you decide to add your branded. So then you would just select add photos. You're going to add your branded photos in. Again, you can add as many as you want. I have one here. I think this one is also branded as well. But you want to put whatever you're going to put in there and then save it. So now when someone finds your listing on Realtor.com, they not only see the picture, they see your contact information. So sometimes instead of clicking, oh, I want more information, they'll just call you. Or if you give them that URL, they'll go to your site to get the additional information and the additional pictures. All right, you want to push that traffic to you. All right, so what do you want to do today? In my mind, the main thing you want to do is get comfortable using a blog platform. It's very easy. You don't need to have like all these grand ideas on what to blog about. Just talk about whatever is happening in your community. But then when you get a listing, just create a blog about that listing. Get comfortable with Zillow and Realtor.com. A lot of people hate them. There are some very, left or right decisions on what people think about Zillow, but they're here. They're here. Realtor.com is here. Use it to your advantage. In my mind, if I have to be out there with them, then they're going to promote me before they promote anybody else. So get comfortable with them. Get your profile set up. That I can't express that enough. Both Realtor.com and Zillow offer free profiles. There are people who think the only way you can have a Zillow profile is if you're paying for leads, and that is not the case. Everyone that's a realtor can have a Zillow profile as well as a Realtor.com. So go into Zillow, set up a profile, get it as complete as you can. You want to make sure your bio is in there, the areas you serve, who your brokerage is. Get your prior listings in there. In Zillow.com, it has a tab where you can say add prior sales. You can go in and go back for several years and add in all your sales. So you go from an agent that's not on Zillow to an agent that's on Zillow with 50 sales. That's what people look at. You may not want to believe it, but when you meet someone, you walk away, the first thing they're doing is Googling your name. They want to see what comes up. How much business have you been doing? Are you on Zillow? Are you on Realtor.com? Does your name come up at all? So you want to get comfortable, get out there, get these things set up, find out whether your office has a blog platform on your office website if you have one, and just get comfortable doing it. Hey, Susan, I don't know if I answered all the questions or if you have any out there. What do you got for me?
Well, I have something for you. When we were talking earlier, you told me that how you learned about how to use blogs was from Key Assad. Tell me a little bit about that.
Key is one of my absolute favorite people. He is so invested in making sure that we as agents are not afraid of the internet. One of the things he really presses is that your identity on the internet is complete and consistent. He really stresses you write your bio that you're going to use on Zillow and the bio you're going to put on Realtor.com. You write it with a purpose. The purpose is to get the information you need for them to know out there in the right format. So he actually teaches a class, I'm sure you know, on how to write a bio. He also talks about, backlinks. In my blog platform, I backlink to Google and I backlink to YouTube and to other things. That's what creates the interest that the Google blog, the Google bots, the little spiders that goes out and indexes the internet. They look for interest. They look at things that are interesting, stuff that makes people want to see your information. So when you make it interesting, they see it and they serve your information up when someone's searching for things. So Key is one of my absolute favorite people. And if you haven't taken one of his classes, you are missing out.
Awesome. For the folks listening, if you search for Key Yessaad, K-E-Y, like a door key, Y-E-S-S-A-A-D on the Resource Center, you're going to see some webinar and breakout session recordings that Key has provided us with. So take a look at those. Like Karen said, he is a whiz when it comes to things like this. By all means, check it out. So my next question for you, Karen, is this. One of the things I like about this is that your branding on your listings on Zillow and Realtor.com is front and center. That's what folks are seeing. So it's a great tool to connect you with buyers. But let me ask you this. Once a buyer's connecting with you, you have the opportunity then to set up showings and to discuss the property with them. So do you also use this in your listing presentation?
I absolutely do. One of the things I always tell my sellers is when I take a listing, and this kind of makes them chuckle when I say it, I tell them, hey, I'm going to buy your address, and they kind of look at me with a weird eye, and I tell them, no, I go out and I buy a domain name of your address. So on this particular listing, the address is 22890 Timber Lane. I bought at where I buy my domain names. I don't know why that's so hard to say. I bought 22890 Timber Lane. So now I tell my clients, when you want someone to look at your listing, hey, I'm selling my house, here, take a look at the listing, just give them your address, .com. Everyone knows your address. All your friends know your address. Your family knows your address. Just tell people, hey, can you please share this with your friends? So you increase the level of exposure just organically by people knowing their own address. Their family knows their address. So I point traffic at that. I tell my clients, hey, you are going to have a big hand in getting this information out, and it's not going to be any effort because it's just your address. So that actually is a big selling point to some of my clients, and they are really wowed by it because it's like, whoa, that is so cool. And I tell them, hey, just put your address in, 22890.com. They put it in there, it goes to my blog post, or sometimes I'll point it at my website with their particular house, and it blows their mind. So it's a fantastic tool for listing because they tell their friends, hey, this agent is fantastic. She creates a website for my house, and it's my address, and I don't have to remember, you need to go to so-and-so.com, blah, blah, blah. It's my address. So it's a huge selling point, and it kind of multiplies the amount of traffic you can get.
Very cool. And you're using a lot of Google tools, too, as well. You're using Blogger and YouTube, and so Google must like you in searches.
Well, they do because, Google loves themselves. So, whenever you can impress them by using their own tools, they kind of like you. So I use their Google blog platform. I backlink to their YouTube, service. Google owns YouTube. And then when I put the YouTube on my other blogs, it kind of ties it all together. So, I point a lot of stuff at them, and then I point stuff through them. So I make sure, they see themselves anywhere that I'm doing something.
That's awesome. So flip to your contact information there, and I'll ask you our last question for today. Tell us again which company you use to buy your domains.
Oh, I use a company called Namecheap.com. It sounds weird, Namecheap. There are a lot of people in our office that also use GoDaddy.com. There are several domain registration name companies out there. Those are the two big ones. They're very helpful if you buy the domain name that you want and you don't know how to point it different places. Both of those companies have help desks you can call, and they'll walk you through repointing your stuff. If you want to change where a domain name lands, just give them a call and they'll do that for you. Quite often they have training where you can go in and learn how to do it yourself. It's not that hard if you're comfortable with technology. It's really not that hard to do. The domain names are actually very inexpensive. So for a listing, your clients will think, oh my gosh, she's fantastic. I can't believe she's doing that. But they don't know, sometimes you can get them for $8 for a year for a domain name, but to them it's just like, whoa, that's fantastic. So for a very low dollar amount, you can have a huge impact on somebody. And you can buy several different domain names to point at things. If someone has a street name that's kind of weird to spell or people misspell it, buy all the different misspellings and point this stuff into traffic. So, domain names, I think, are the hidden little gem that people don't realize you can do a whole lot with for a very little amount of money. And that's kind of my secret. Don't tell anybody.
That is very cool. Thank you, Karen. You don't know this, but your franchisee, Sean Sorensen, was really happy to hear that you were asked to share what you're doing to be successful, and we want to share what she said about you. She said, Karen Toddy is such a joy to work with. She's such an asset to our team in Southern California. She teaches us in a way that we can all understand. She has the patience of a saint, and she deserves all the stars in the sky. And to all of us on the webinar today, Sean said, I hope you enjoyed learning from her as much as I do. I sure did today. Karen's contact information is on the screen. Please reach out to her if you have any questions. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.